Half years ago. I stood here then following two horrific mass shootings in El Paso and Dayton. I was also more than a little intimidated that day to speak before the governor. He's kind of a big deal. But I was determined to speak out and to not stop speaking until we saw meaningful action on gun violence. I'm so grateful for everyone here. Whether you've been doing this for a decade or this is your very first action, you are here to sing, determined to say no more to gun violence. You are powerful, and we are powerful in our unified goal. I'm thankful for our legislative leadership and champions and allies who have continued to fight and push for what the overwhelming majority of Minnesotans want. Background check on all guns. Broad, diverse, and heart-led coalition that continues to show up together with a common goal of keeping Minnesota safer from gun violence. Survivors for I am honored to share this space once again, and maybe still a little bit intimidated, to get to pass the microphone once more to our gun sense governor, Tim Walz.
Well, thank you, Molly. Good afternoon, everyone. Molly's right, and to the folks who just walking out here, who walked up to me and talked about losing their loved ones to gun violence, this is so far beyond what is normal and what should be accepted to almost be surreal that you are still here, but you are still here. And I make note of this. Our students demand action who are here, asking if they do. Moms demand, all the groups. It's not moms demand hand-wringing. Moms demand thoughts and prayers. Moms demand running out the clock. Moms demand stonewalling, so for the last 4 years there were no hearings. You were very clear about this. You demand action, you demand it now. There's a reason that the legislators are in there now have a majority to pass this, because democracy still worked in Minnesota. People went out and worked hard. They demanded to hear where people stood on this, and then said, once elected, this is our expectations to get these things done. That's where we're here today to do exactly that. Political capital is not something you bang away. Political capital is what you burn to improve lives. That's what's being asked of us. So we're now within a matter, in some cases, of a few hours, and over the next several weeks, of being able to pass what are the most very basic, floor-level, safety type of things for our children. That's what we have, and for our community. And I hope each of you, I know you know this and internalizing it, changing this entire narrative. For God's sakes, we have people being killed knocking on the wrong door. People who want to instill fear and tell you to fear your neighbor, fear the other, fear the immigrant, fear someone who doesn't share your religion. That's a part of this too. This is about building community that welcomes people. Building community that's safe. So you don't feel you've got to be boarded in your house with an automatic firearm rather than taking a plate of cookies to your neighbors and spending a little time together. The Minnesota we want to live in is one where we care for our neighbors, one where we see our neighbors, one where we value our neighbors, not one where we fear our neighbors. And we certainly don't believe more guns make us any safer. We know that. So please, in this moment, know what you're doing. Know that the fight that we're fighting when these bills pass is a step in that direction of a more inclusive, kind, and compassionate community, a smarter community. I refuse to believe that every other nation in the world, every other industrialized nation in the world can find a way to keep their freedoms and not kill their children and their citizens. We can have all. We can have all. And unlike past years, where you came and poured your soul out and watched people stand in the way and not hold a hearing and not see a single vote, those days are over. Those days and as Molly said 3.5 years ago, in that rotunda as you gathered, the First Lady of Minnesota took the podium and said, just give us a hearing. Let us present the facts and then give us a vote. And if some of you recall this, some of the colleagues up there called me and told me, we need to have a conversation about your wife. I said, oh no, that's not.
Excuse me. Thank you very much. So my name is Andrew Kiragu. I'm a pediatric intensive care physician at Children's Minnesota, Hennepin Healthcare, Gillette Specialty Hospital, and Regents Hospital. I have had the daily privilege for caring for critically injured and ill children for over 20 years. I see the suffering experienced by the most vulnerable amongst us, our children, including children and adolescents who have been the victims of firearm-related injuries, be they accidental or intentional. Firearm violence is an epidemic, and it is particularly acute amongst children, adolescents, and young adults. On average, every day, 28 children and young adults aged 25.
That is not happening. I said, what I want you to do is I want you to call her and I want to watch how that goes. The First Lady said, give us a hearing, give us a vote. She said it as a mother, she said it as a teacher, and she's saying it now as the First Lady as we get this done.
Again. Yeah. Again. But as my friend John Lewis would say, one more time. We are gathering together one more time. Right? And we are here one more time to show them who we are, what we believe, what we want, and what we are going to get done. 4 years ago, I said, boy, they elected a lot of people who support this idea and this agenda. And so let's have that hearing. And I finally said, because you know what? We are not giving up. We are coming for you. We are coming to get this done. And you know, they didn't like that. They didn't like that to have some little lady saying something like that, some little mom, right? Well, I'll tell you what, we are coming for that vote, and we are coming to get this done, and we are coming together one more time, right? And then Minnesota becomes a place that's safer for our children and safer for all of us. The legacy we leave, the decisions we make, the power we have together to create this, that's what they didn't want to hear about 4 years ago, I think. I think they were maybe just a little hesitant to embrace the change that was on the way. And even though we have waited for 4 years, we are mothers and we are patient people. But I'll tell you what, my daughter, who's 22, graduating from college in 2 weeks or so, I know, last payment made. We named her Hope. We did not name her Patience. Good thing, too. We named her Hope. Because hope is the most powerful word in the universe. Through hope, anything can be done. And you have all, every single day, given me hope, and you have given the governor hope, and you have given the lieutenant governor hope, that we can achieve this goal that we have all set. And I know it's just the beginning, but we're going to take a minute and we are going to celebrate that when that passes. But when that passes is what I say, because we are not letting up for 1 second. until that passes, and then we will begin again. And we will come together again one more time, right? And one more time for Minnesota, we will continue to call the voices of action together. We will continue to be the voices of hope. We will be patient when we have to, but our names are not patience. Our names are hope. Let's get it done. And my most important job. Sorry, I get all carried away looking at the signs and the colors and thinking of what's to come. We have a champion right here, right in front of us, right in our state, leading the way. A champion on this issue and so many others. And it's my privilege to introduce today someone you know well, someone who works side by side with you and has on all the most important issues for our children and of our times, our Lieutenant Governor, Peggy Flanagan.
Well, I like to surround myself with strong and tough moms, which is who our First Lady is. Thank you so much for your leadership and for never, ever blinking, for knowing what we need to do and continuing to push all of us to get there. And to the Governor, thank you for having the courage to simply do what's right and to stand up for our kids. So I have been in front of you and with Moms Demand Action in a couple of different roles. When I was the ED of Children's Defense Fund, when I was a legislator, and now as Lieutenant Governor. I don't want to have one more role in this fight with you. I want to simply get this done. And I want us to simply get this done this session. When my daughter was in first grade and she came home and she was so excited, she said, Mom, we won. She's like, we won the treat. And I was like, what's the treat? What did you do? And she said, our class was the most quiet when we had a drill. And at that moment, my heart broke, and I hugged her tighter than I probably ever have. And that is something that happens with our children year after year after year, that they practice active shooter drills in their schools where they should be practicing multiplication tables. They're practicing active shooter drills. So I am Lieutenant Governor, but more than anything, I am Siobhan's mom. Yes. Yeah. And I am a mama bear for my child and for yours. When my kiddo looks at me and I say, yes, you have to wear your helmet, and yes, you have to wear your elbow pads when you're going to the skate park, and then I ask her, what is my most important job? To keep me safe. And that is our most important job. And we have been neglecting that job for years. And we are now in a moment where finally, we have an opportunity, because there are leaders in this building who are saying that our children, the lives of our children, are more important than anything else. So you have demanded action. You have shared your heartbreaking stories of being survivors. And I and the governor and the first lady and this legislature will not let that be in vain. We will honor the memories of those that we have lost by preventing the loss of any more in our state. So thank you so much for all of the work that you have done. And as the First Lady talked about hope, I want to talk about faith. In the face of incredible odds, when people continue to tell us no, that it just wasn't time, to just wait a moment, y'all kept the faith. And that is why we are here in this moment. Because you have the faith, you didn't give up, and you watched as conditions changed because you made it so. So I am honored and humbled to be in this fight with all of you. I'm honored and humbled to be your Lieutenant Governor, but more than anything, I am honored to be a mom who is demanding action.
My name is Katie Wallace. I am a volunteer state legislative co-lead with Moms Demand Action. And I am very proud to introduce one of our great community partners. She's the founder of Mothers Against Community Gun Violence. She's taking a selfie with the I'm gonna let that happen. Ladies and gentlemen, moms, mothers, and others, Miss LaTanya Black.
Do I have rooster hair? You know, the man is born in all kinds of ways. I don't even have that much.
The sun came out for you.
As they exit, I just want to thank the governor, first lady, lieutenant governor for their unwavering hard work and dedication to keep Minnesota safe and free from gun violence. Nia Black was a full-time college student, a young entrepreneur, a business owner, an educator and facilitator at the local colleges. Nia was a member of the Northeast Minneapolis Arts Association and a professional makeup artist to the stars, a dream she aspired to achieve, and she conquered that in her young life. Nia was very small in stature. She barely stood 5 feet tall, even with heels on. But she would have told you she was about 5'4". She wasn't. Nia had a smile that would light up a room, and her infectious laugh would cheer up the saddest person. Nia was a lover of people and community and would hand out love bags every year around Christmas time to the homeless shelter located in South Minneapolis. She was a true asset to the community, and again, she loved people. On June 13th of 2020, while riding as a passenger in a vehicle, a repeat offender, I'm going to say that again, a repeat offender who had did previous time in jail for shooting someone, decided that Nia's life was worthless, decided that he had the right to take her life when he rightfully should not have even possessed a weapon. At 23 years old, my baby girl's life ended. He murdered my baby. He shot her one time in the head as she was riding as a passenger in a car, 3.1 miles up the street from here. And I've always said, I will walk these streets, I will stand, I will march, I will hold signs, I will walk the soles off my shoes for my daughter because no one has the right to take a life. I would also like to add, the shooter of my daughter has an anticipated release date of January of 2028. And he will walk the streets with you and I, my family, your family, our children, law-abiding citizens. He will walk the streets with us. So in saying that, I say to you, my advocacy for my daughter, victims' families, and impacted communities is real. So many people have asked me, how can you share Nia's story over and over? And my response to that is the very fact that I have to speak of my daughter in past tense. Nia was, Nia did, Nia liked, Nia loved. That right there, those very words are the reason why I do what I do. It ignites me, it fuels me, It is my relentless pursuit to make every Minnesotan, I don't care where you live, I don't care about your zip code, your economic status, your race, creed, religion. Every Minnesotan has the right to live free from gun violence. I have to tell you, when I first got involved with this, I am not a politician. I have never ran for anything in my life. I was a cheerleader, but that's a whole other story. And I was skeptical because I just felt like, and I'm going to speak for communities of color as a black woman, oftentimes we're not always at the table. So I thought, I was skeptical, like, what is this? Because Nia's story is to be told and never sold for political gain. So I was very overprotective of her story. And I have to say, in the black community, you sometimes feel like your voice is not heard. Do people really care? But I have to say, if you're not at the table, then you will definitely be on the menu. And I'm not on anybody's menu. I would say shortly after, I've been advocating now for almost 2 years. Nia's life was taken June 13th of 2020, so we're shy of 3 years. The thought of not being able to touch, feel, hold my daughter, I'm still in disbelief. But I can say that skepticism was completely turned around as I sat across the table from gun sense advocates and lawmakers that truly care, champions of this gun violence. Senator Latz, he made sure that he worked with me, and everyone that I'm naming, I sat across the table from not only in this Capitol, but came out in the community, and whether they walked with us, or came to our walkathon, or came to our advocacy workshops that we do for families, they showed up. So I would like to give a shout out to Representative Frazier, Moeller, Pinto, Senator Westland, Abler, and Latz, and so many others that I have sat with that stood for me, stood for our community, stood for what is right, and we are going to bring this thing home. And today I am honored to say that those gun-sense lawmakers have really stood with community and what they say they mean. And I want to say that we need to go ahead, do what we have to do in this Capitol behind us, and come together and let's get this much needed work done. Let's bring this thing home.
Love to introduce you the chair of the House Public Safety Committee, Representative Kelly Mahler.
Hello, everybody. Today is a good day. In fact, today is a great day because tonight behind us in the House chamber, we'll be voting for our public safety finance bill that includes our red flag law, includes criminal background checks, and includes deep investments into communities who are doing violence prevention work like LaTanya Black is doing and so many others are doing in our communities. Tonight's the night we are going to vote yes on those bills. I couldn't be more thrilled that the vote we're having tonight is aligned with all of you being here today. And you have not stopped showing up, and we appreciate you so much. Since I was first elected in 2018, you just keep coming, and we're gonna make meaningful change. And tonight is the first start of that. As we're working to make those changes, the Republicans are trying to strip out the community violence prevention funding that we have. We want to create a lifetime carry bill. And they also want a shoot first bill, which some call stand your ground. But we're not going to let that happen tonight because we care about Minnesotans. We care about ending